on inside the Ray County Jail?
We've received a letter from the fire marshal to give us 30 days. I have to cut my overcrowded part of my jail down within 30 days, and then I have another 30 days, 60 days total, to get my head count from like 205, 217 back down to 87 inmates.
Is that possible?
It's not possible to get it all the way to 87 inmates. I've been sheriff since 2002, and I have never been under 87 inmates. So to get the numbers that low, it's probably not possible. To get the numbers down to 120, 130, to a reasonable number, that is possible. But that's going to require moving inmates to other facilities all over the state of Tennessee.
Tell us why that's bad for taxpayers.
Taxpayer wise, you're going to pay on an average of $40 an inmate to these other facilities per day. So if I took 75 inmates and housed them in other facilities all over the state, just the housing for those inmates is going to be $1 million a year. Not including moving the inmates from one facility to the other, bringing them back to Dayton for court, and the aspect of transportation is going to be tremendous also.
Why do you want to house state inmates? Tell us about that plan.
We have been housing somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12, 15 state inmates. Right now I'm over 20 in state, over 25 in state inmates. But I've been waiting on beds for state inmates, and when you get with the state, then they have a problem with overcrowding too. So it may take 30 days, it may take 6 weeks to get rid of some state inmates. But we have been putting our money aside that we bring in on state inmates, so when we do have a new facility, that we're saving money up with a plan that I came up with to have money to hire the extra guards when we have a new facility, to pay the first year's payment when we have a new facility, and so forth and so on, and furniture, to have the money saved up to move forward with what we're doing.
Where are we at on a new facility?
Right now, they have just, as of yesterday, after I went to the commission and had a meeting over this, they, as of yesterday, have hired Hewlett Spencer from Nashville to continue forward with the project. Right now, they're looking at the old hospital that we have, and they're also looking at a piece of property that we purchased up by Eagle Exxon on the north end of the city to put a new facility on.
And that's not going to happen in 60 days.
And that's not going to happen in 60 days, and that's not been happening. I've been under a plan of action with the state of Tennessee since 2011, and they have been working towards this project since 2011. I have commissioners that won't even walk into this jail and look at the jail. I have commissioners that won't even come to the meetings that have to do with the jail. So everything's not working together, and they have been told for years now that this day's coming, that they're going to have to move these inmates to other facilities. The state of Tennessee's been telling them, the fire marshal's been telling them, and the days came and they didn't get a facility built.
Why should people care about housing inmates over some of the other needs? We talked about schools, that kind of thing.
I try to do aggressive law enforcement in this county, and I try to keep all the thieves in jail, the drug addicts in jail, and we are passionate about doing our job in this county. And if they don't take the jail serious, I have to turn these people back out on the street, or the taxpayers have got to pay to house them in other counties. So it's not fair to the taxpayers to turn them back out on the street, but the county commission's not been fair to the taxpayers and not building a facility that we can house these people in. And we're having to spend $1 million a year now to house them in other facilities.
Have you done everything that you possibly can to get those numbers down and push your plan?
Right. I'm going to start now. Today, we've already started on trying to find some facilities in Memphis, and I've talked to Bledsoe County, and we're talking to other counties on trying to find facilities to house our inmates.
And what happens if the 60 days come and you still have the inmates, the overcrowding that happened? What happens?
I talked to the fire marshal's office yesterday, and at the end of the 60 days, if we're not at a head count of 87, then they're going to cite me personally to court to answer to why we're not down to 87.
Not fair for you.
So they might as well go ahead and write their citation, because we're not going to be at 87. I've not been at 87 since 2002. So there's no way for me to bring my head count from 217 people to 87 without turning these people out on the street it's not fair to the taxpayers on what we're doing with that.
What are you gonna say when you have to go, when have to go to court?
I will take everything that we've done since 2011, all the stuff that we have to send in paperwork daily to the state of Tennessee showing progress, what we're doing, and so forth. And I've been under this plan of action since 2011, and I'll show that to the judge, and here's what I'm doing. And it's not the sheriff's responsibility to build a jail, it's the county commission's. It's my responsibility to run a jail and to maintain a jail, but it's not my responsibility to build a jail. So I will take all the facts that I have been doing since 2011, showing that I'm doing my job to make sure and notify them that we have to have a facility to house these people in, and we've not gotten. And they will turn it back around to where it's their responsibility to build a jail.